you know, that's a pretty big thing. And so when it was Crass, it was the same thing. There wasn't. We were just friends, you know, and I'd always respect him for that. He's always respected that for me, you know. And we really did blow away that upper class, working class divide, and we were just two guys doing it.
We all lived in the same house. You couldn't have Crass without what was happening in our personal lives. It was all so interwoven, you can't separate them. So it never stopped. It wasn't like we went to the rehearsal studio and then played Crass. The rehearsal room was in our house, so it was like, right, okay, then what are we doing tomorrow, rehearsing? It never stopped. The phone was ringing, people were coming to visit all the time. You know, punks coming to camp in the garden and all this kind of, so you never got away from it. And the experience for me was just it never stopped, and it was a lifestyle. A good one. I wouldn't change, you know, I wouldn't change it. We never had rules. For example, if with 15 people living in the same place, if there was washing up to be done, it wasn't, you know, there wasn't a rota and on Wednesday Steve does the washing up. You just did it. And the whole way of living like that was, well, consideration for other people first.
Is it well and truly stuck? Is it well and
Has it
truly
gone?
stuck?
No, it's still up there. So I just come back. Just getting...
Nick's taking some film.
Oh,
Quick, get in it.
Quick. Oh, don't pretend.
It's just I was getting like so fucking swamped with those flies.
Yeah. Do you want some help or something?
Eh?
Do you want some help?
No, it's nothing to do with it.
How high is it?
Stay up there.
Right at the top, but I think it's only held by about 2 branches. As usual. What?
You like to look cool.
Not at all, just you.
Yeah, you were. In 1967, I found the place. Well, I'd spent about a year driving round the southeast of England, sort of looking for somewhere. In those days, people, you know, wouldn't have dreamt of moving into somewhere like this. Nowadays, they're very fashionable, very, very valuable. I saw a film, it's the end of The Sixth Happiness. There's a movie about Chinese inns, and they had this tradition of people turn, you know, like walking to the inn, and then they would tell their story, then the next day they'd move on and go somewhere else. And I was rather inspired at the idea of sort of opening up somewhere where people could come and they'd sort of pay for their supper and a bed by telling a story. That was my romantic idea. And my romantic idea was that if people liked it, they'd do something similar. So by now, 40 years later, or 38 years later, I thought there'd be hundreds of places like this right across Britain. But in fact, no one, as far as I know, has ever attempted to recreate the system that this place works on, because, as you know, it's not a commune, it's an open door. Most communes manage to survive based around some sort of ideology or religion or whatever, and I'm not interested in sort of shared ideologies or religions. And the open door policy, which is the one we have operated on since then, allows people to come and it allows people to go, and it allows conflicts to develop and allows loves to develop, all sorts of things without any condition. It's a very unconditional state of affairs. And creatively, I suppose that was reflected in the sense that You know, if someone said, oh, can I join the band? And there wasn't any question as to yes or no. I mean, it was an automatic, of course you can, what can you do? And it didn't matter if they couldn't do anything at all, like Andy. I mean, he hadn't got a clue what to do with the guitar, but, you know, he got one and made a noise on it, so that's good enough.
We kind of got very excited about, you know, the punk scene when the first wave of it. It seemed really exciting. At last, you know, there was a youth culture growing that was saying, well, just fuck off, you know, and all the rest of it. Well, we felt it was, but then it started to sort of sour for us because I suppose the idea of no future was sort of not in our realm. I suppose, you know, we were accused of being old hippies. Well, fine, you know, the old hippies had a dream and we still dream it, you know, and still aim for that, you know, and which is about coming together. And, you know, that's difficult in itself. So I suppose we took up that area of music and expression because none of us were musicians particularly. And the whole ethos was just get up and do it, just express it.
They have the world that they bleed dry. They are the true pornographers, the real stylists in human perversion, rich, educated tarts, it's doubly by watching their...
I'm not a great stage person, so it suited me with CRASS to, you know, do the artwork and film work and anything else I could, you know, write songs. And the artwork was really the covers. Yeah, I mean, it was really the involvement with the whole aesthetic of presentation, really, because I think it's really, really important. It's another language. I mean, and we were all very interested in not only the words, not only the sound, but the presentation and how we could try something very new and try to cut through and find a new language, really. It seems to have been very positive for a lot of people on different levels. I mean, hopefully it didn't... Well, I know it didn't come over as dictatorial at all in what we were trying to say. I think obviously came over very angry.